Hello, I am Filipe Gama and I will present how I work on active exploration for body model learning through self-touch using a simulated humanoid robot with artificial skin. On the video you can see a 7 weeks old infant. Newborns spontaneously touch their body parts, thereby learning about their body in space. However, random movements, also called body babbling, do not explore the body efficiently. Our research question is, does exploration become systematic or intrinsically motivated over time? To study this, we use a humanoid robot with whole-body skin coverage. This is a special version of the now that has been covered with ICDL artificial skin, also on the face. Self-touch on the face being important in development. The physical robot was not employed in the current article, as long experiments will be damaging to the hardware, but the simulated version closely mimics it. We hope to transition to the real robot in the future. We used the gazebo simulator and one of the publicly available now models that we modified to include taxels at the same locations as our physical now. Reaching was attempted towards the torso and the head, using only the right hand, the one with the finger. Two versions of the models are available, one with a low-resolution skin and one with high-resolution skin. The action space corresponds to the degrees of freedom of the robot, 5 for the arm and 2 more for the neck. The observation space corresponds to the discrete space of the taxels. It is represented in 2 dimensions. The taxels' coordinates are obtained with a projection, a simple parallel projection for the low-resolution skin and a cylindrical central projection for the high-resolution skin. We decided to use exploration strategies that are used for standard learning to reach in 3D space, where feedback about the hand position in space is available from vision. We used the implementations available in the Exploto framework. Our focus is on inverse models, learning how to reach for particular locations on the skin. We opted for the nearest neighbor algorithm. The first strategy, random motor babbling, samples a motor configuration from the action space and executes it to obtain an observation. Random goal babbling samples a target in the observation space and uses the inverse model to find an action that reaches the closest to the goal. After adding exploration noise, the motor command is played, resulting in an observation. Discretized goal babbling behaves similarly as random goal babbling, but discretizes the observation space into cells, assigning an interest value to each cell. The value is updated through the exploration depending on the error between the target and the observations. It is used to determine in which cells the next target will be chosen. Direct optimization is an added layer on top of goal babbling strategies. Taking the motor command given by the inverse model as a basis, a temporary forward model is used to locally attempt 10 times to reach the target. The best attempt is used to improve the model. We tested 2 variants of TGP, one with a discretization into 15 by 15 cells and another into 32 by 32. For low-resolution skin only, we also ran a version of RGB and TGP with direct optimization. All experiments ran for 1000 iterations, and each strategy was run 10 times. All results are average over these 10 trials. Every 100 iterations, taxel reaching is tested. For low-resolution skin, all taxels are tested. For high-resolution skin, about 10% of the taxels are tested, spread in a grid-like pattern. The tested taxels are represented in blue in the figure. The most common way to evaluate reaching performance is to use the reaching error between the target and the actual observation. The results here are the mean reaching errors of all taxels every 100 iterations. The first observation to make is that for low-resolution skin, for all strategies, there isn't any significant improvement. The error stays around the same level throughout the experiment and even goes up for the torso. For high-resolution skin, we observe a clear drop of the mean reaching error. Overall, the TGP strategy provides better results, and the difference between both variants is small. Direct optimization did not appear to provide an advantage. Because our environment is discrete, if a motor command does not result in a contact with a taxel, information about the learning performance is not available. There may be actions that end far from the target, outside of the skin, or others that end closer but reach between 2 sensors. From the point of view of the model and the reaching error, both are equivalent and are ignored. As the mean reaching error does not provide complete information about learning performance, we plotted the individual errors for each tested taxel on the observation space. They are enriched, reached with error, and perfectly reached taxels. These results are after 1000 iterations. The results are consistent over body parts and resolutions of the skin. RMB displayed very poor performances, with most taxels being enriched, while DGB had the best results. Direct optimization did not provide improvements. It has similar or slightly poorer results than its counterparts without direct optimization. It is interesting to note that for all strategies, the edges of the torso are the most difficult areas to reach. This was not observed for the head. The projections also show the goal generation from goal bubbling strategies. As expected, it is significantly more precise and focused on the taxels and their surrounding areas for DGB. Despite the difference, RGB still performs fairly well compared to DGB. We invite you to look at our paper to see the other projections. Additionally, we monitored the occurrences of contacts achieved by each strategy. The ranking of the strategies are similar between body parts and skin resolutions, with a significant gap in the number of touches between them. The highest number of occurrences was for the experiment with direct optimization, followed by DGB, then RGB, and finally RMB that produced a very small amount of touches. There is a noticeable increase of contact occurrences for DGB on the high-res skin compared to the low-res skin. Incidentally, by comparing how far the number of touches are from 1000, this also gives us the number of iterations during exploration that did not contribute to the model learning. As would be expected, the most successful algorithm in learning to reach for the body were those with a competence-based algorithm, monitoring the learning progress in different areas of the goal space. However, in our case, the results are less clear-cut compared to standard learning inverse kinematics. Indeed, goal bubbling, with or without discretized progress or direct optimization, achieves quite comparable reaching performances. This has mostly to do with the measurements of the performance available to the learning algorithm and during the testing. If no contact on the skin is generated, no error can be calculated, and learning, as well as external evaluation, are compromised. For this reason, we complemented the results presentation by reaching error with the number of touches achieved and the goal space projections. None of these provide a complete picture, but together they improve our understanding. Reaching for the head was overall more successful than reaching for the torso, presumably because the two additional joints on the neck were recruited. In our article, we discuss about the use of the nearest neighbor algorithm for the inverse model. It has advantages and disadvantages from a purely computational perspective. In addition, it is unlikely that this could be the solution adopted by the brain. We would like to address the problem of motor redundancy. Several reaching solutions exist for reaching a single location on the skin. We currently do not handle these multiple solutions, which may impact the consistency of the solutions even within trials. We are looking into alternative strategies that could handle the redundancy, such as path-based goal bubbling. We would like to grant our work more into infant reaching and take a closer look at studies in spontaneous and motivated reaching in infants and how they develop as the infant age. Thank you for your attention.